The lab is quiet. Lights hum. Cameras watch every corner. In the center, on a steel table, a small metal box waits. It is the size of a lunchbox. It is heavier than it looks. The surface is smooth and dark, like night water. A clock on the wall changes to midnight. In that same second, the box wakes. A thin line of blue runs around its edge. The air turns cold. Every sensor records a tiny jump in time, less than a blink. The cameras do not see anyone enter. The doors never open. Yet the box is here now, and it was not here one breath ago. Scientists rush in. Guards lock the room. A red light spins. The director, Dr. Ishan Rao, speaks in a low voice. He says to treat it like a bomb and like a miracle, both at once. No one laughs. They all feel a weight in their chests. The box looks simple. It does not feel simple. A label shimmers on the lid, as if written by heat. The letters are human. The words are clear. Property of humanity. Year 2486. People stare. A guard whispers, "That year is not possible." A junior tech says nothing. She just leans closer, eyes wide. Dr. Rao sees marks along the side. At first they look random, then the truth hits him. They are fingerprints pressed deep into metal like clay. But the prints push outward, not inward, like hands pressed from the inside. The room grows colder again. They carry the box to the vault room, the most secure place in the institute. Walls of stone, doors of layered steel, a table that can survive fire. The world outside begins to talk. News breaks fast. Time Capsule appears in Geneva Secure Lab. Some people cheer. Some people fear. Most people wait to see what happens next. A thin strip slides out from the box. It is only a few centimeters long. The message on it is short. Open only by a human born in storm and silence. The words feel like a riddle. The staff bring lists. Birth records, weather records, power grid logs. They work for hours. They find a match. Her name is Ava Khan. She is an engineer. She designs emergency power nodes for hospitals and shelters. She was born during a blackout storm in a small clinic without lights. Her mother held a candle. The midwife counted heartbeats by touch. Storm and silence. The riddle fits her life. Ava arrives with a tired face and a steady voice. She is not famous. She is not a soldier. She is just good at fixing things when they break. She stands a few steps from the table. The cameras watch her. The world watches her. The blue line around the box brightens. A new timer appears on the lid, 07 DOS. It begins to count down. People argue. A security chief says to evacuate the building. A physicist says the box may be a paradox trigger. A historian says this could be the most important object in human history. Dr. Rao looks at Ava and asks how she feels. She shrugs. She says, scared, curious, human. She gives a small smile that does not quite reach her eyes. The timer drops. 6:12:05:33. The decision must come. If the clock hits 0, no one knows what happens. If they open early, maybe it is worse. The team runs tests. The metal is strange. It matches no current alloy, but it is also not alien. It is human in design, just not from now. The isotope ratios whisper of future reactors, future forges, future hands. Ava walks around the table. She studies the edges and corners. She sees tiny grooves that form a spiral pattern. She breathes slow and steady. The room is so quiet that people hear the soft click of her shoes. Storm and silence, she says. Maybe it needs a heartbeat that learned to beat without a machine. She places her palm near the lid. The box reads the warmth from her skin. The timer jumps to 02:01 and stops falling. It holds that number steady, like it is waiting. The vault door seals with a heavy sound. Only a small team stays inside. Ava, Dr. Rao, the security chief, one historian, one physicist, one medic. The rest watch through glass. The world watches through screens. The blue line flickers. The metal hums. The box seems to listen. Ava closes her eyes. She remembers her mother's voice in the dark clinic. She remembers rain hitting a tin roof. She hears silence, then a soft laugh, then a new sound. Her own first cry. She opens her eyes and speaks in a calm tone. If you are from us, she says to the box, then you know we will try. You know we will argue. You know we will be afraid. But you also know we will not run from ourselves. A small panel unfolds from the side. It shows simple shapes, circle, triangle, square, and a path line that loops in a spiral. Ava moves her finger along the path, slow and careful. The shapes rotate and lock with tiny clicks. The hum grows warmer. The blue line becomes steady. A slot opens. A paper map slides out. Real paper. It smells like old books and clean dust. No one expects paper from the future. The map shows Earth. Red X marks sit in deserts, mountains, and oceans. At the bottom, a single word, teacher. Another slot opens. A small sphere rolls out, smooth and gray. It unfolds like a metal flower and floats at eye level. A soft light glows inside it. When it speaks, the voice is human. It is tired but kind. We are you, the voice says. We failed. We send this to help. No one moves. The security chief grips his radio. The historian wipes his eyes. The physicist whispers a prayer without knowing he is praying. Ava just listens. Lesson 1, the teacher says. Humans never win by strength alone. They win by trust. The enemy did not break your bodies. It broke your trust. It turned your teams into islands. It made every person feel alone in a crowd. When you feel alone, you stop hearing each other. When you stop hearing, you stop fighting together. When you stop fighting together, you fall. The lights in the vault flicker. The teacher steadies itself. The blue line dims and brightens like a breath. You still have time, the voice says. You must build a signal that gives trust back. A signal of life. It must be simple. It must be strong. It must use what you already have. Go to the first mark on the map in 24 hours. Start there. A new timer appears on the sphere, 24 Noctius. It begins to count down. Dr. Rao asks what the enemy is. The teacher is quiet for a second that feels like a long walk. A shadow, it says. Not a shape, a field. It makes silence. It makes doubt. It is near. The vault feels smaller now. The team breathes as one. Ava holds the paper map like a promise. She looks at the first red X, in a desert she has never seen. She nods once. We go, she says. The teacher flickers again. They are closer than you think, it says, voice thin. On a wall screen, a satellite feed shows the curve of Earth. A dark smear moves across the upper atmosphere. It has no clear edge. It is just an absence, sliding like a slow wave. The blue line around the box stutters. The cameras glitch. The room drops 1 degree colder. The medic's breath shows in the air for a heartbeat and then fades. Ava does not look away from the screen. She keeps her voice simple and sure. We go now, she says. The shadow keeps moving. The countdown keeps ticking. The world holds its breath. And the box from the future sits quiet again, like a small planet waiting for dawn. Night falls across many cities at once. Antennas wake on rooftops. Old radio towers blink like tall, tired candles. Ocean buoys flash in lonely lines. In the vault, the small sphere called Teacher glows weak, but it still speaks. Its voice is soft. Its words cut sharp. You must build the signal now, it says. Simple, human, hard to break. Ava spreads the paper map on the table. Her finger rests on the first red X in the desert. She looks at Dr. Rao. He nods. The team moves. They ride a cargo plane into a dark sky. The shadow field crawls above the clouds like spilled ink. Radios hiss. Phones die. The pilot whispers. Feels like something is listening. No one answers. They all feel the same. On the ground, the first sight waits under a moon that looks too thin. The antenna lattice lies buried under sand. Metal teeth push up like the spine of a giant fish. Ava's team pulls at the bolts. The metal is cold even in desert heat. It shines with a future color. They power it on with a small generator. Nothing happens. The meters show 0. A wind moves and then stops, as if the air is afraid to make a sound. The enemy is here, the security chief says. No, Ava says. The enemy is between us. She points to the weak lines on the meters. We are not linked. One node is only a hand. We need a body. She opens a case. Inside are cheap radios, old headphones, a handful of tiny recorders, and a coil of copper wire. She looks almost calm. She looks like someone about to fix a kitchen sink. We use simple things, she says. Simple breaks slow. The team lays wire across the sand. They put the radios in a circle. They feed power from a tractor battery a local farmer lent them with a quiet nod. The farmer's son stands and watches. He holds a metal toy plane. He does not blink. Ava speaks into a mic. Test, test. Her voice sounds thin. The desert steals it. The shadow above presses down. Dr. Rao steps in. Try a heartbeat, he says. They record a slow, steady thump. They layer it under a hum. Still weak, the historian whispers. Stories carry far. Try words we all know. Ava thinks of her mother in the blackout clinic. She thinks of storm and silence. She speaks again, but this time it is not science. It is human. You are not alone, she says. You will feel alone. You are not alone. Say what you fear, then take one step. The radios echo the line. The toy plane boy repeats the words under his breath. The meters jump a little, not much, but not zero. Then something breaks loose. The team feels sudden doubt. Two techs argue over a cable. The medic swears she hears her father say she is not enough. The security chief sees for a breath a memory of failure that did not happen. The shadow is not a body. It is a voice that pretends to be your own. Ava slaps the table with her palm. The sound is simple and real. Name the fear, she says, clear and loud. Out loud. Then act. They speak. Each person names one fear, one shame, one old wound. The words fall into the radios like stones into a river. The current changes. The meters rise. The teacher's voice crackles over a side channel. Good. The field feeds on silence. You break it with truth. Now add rhythm. Humans march by rhythm. Ava pulls out a small drum pad. The boy with the toy plane sets the beat with 2 sticks. Thump, 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 thump. The radios sync. The antenna lattice wakes and sends the first wave. It is rough. It is honest. It is human. Far away, on a mountain, another team hears the desert beat. They answer with pots and pans, with choir voices, with a school bell. In a fishing town, a boat horn joins. In a city, someone taps a radiator. In a hospital, a nurse hums to a child. The net begins to live. Many small voices, one stubborn song. The shadow shifts. It tries to push cold into warm rooms. It makes people forget names for a second. It drops heavy doubt in quiet hearts. But the signal is not clean data. It is messy. It is full of breath and mistakes and laughter. It is hard to erase because it is not arranged like a machine. It grows like a crowd. A drone camera sends back a picture of the sky above the desert. The shadow looks thinner now, as if light found seams inside it. The teacher speaks again. Second lesson. Memory is stronger than fear when shared. You must bind nodes with stories. Short ones, true ones. Memories that fit in 10 seconds. Ava nods. She opens the channel to anyone listening. Share one true memory, she says. 10 seconds. A smell, a sound, a small joy. Then breathe. Memories pour in. A father remembers a mango cut in the sun. A runner remembers rain on hot pavement. A miner remembers a song in a deep tunnel. A grandmother remembers a baby's first sneezes. The signal becomes a chain of human moments. Each link is small. The chain is strong. The shadow pushes harder. The pilot calls in from the air. I see a hole open in the dark, he says. Then it closes. Then it opens again, like the sky is learning to breathe. The security chief brings Ava a sealed case from the capsule. It has a lock that looks like a mirror. The teacher whispers, weak now, final tool. Use only if you trust. Ava looks at her team. They are tired. They are brave. They are not perfect. She does not ask for a promise. She asks for a choice. Do we trust? She asks. They all say yes, not loud. But honest, she opens the case. Inside is a mirror. That is all. No new device, no new code, just a square of glass and metal. The team looks confused. The chief looks angry. We need hardware, he says. Ava lifts the mirror. It is heavy. On the back, small words are etched with a human hand. The strongest amplifier is a person looking at a person. She understands. The teacher's last words were not a riddle. They were a map to the oldest tool on Earth. We add faces, she says. We add eyes. They turn cameras toward the people, not the towers. The net fills with faces in small squares. A fisherman in a yellow hat. A nurse with tired eyes. A child with a toy plane. A scientist with a coffee stain. Each person says one line to the next face they see. I see you. I trust you. Take one step. Something clicks in the world. The signal stops being only sound. It becomes regard. The shadow is a field of not seeing, not hearing, not caring. The opposite field is simple. It is attention. It is the human look that says, you exist to me. The meters leap. The desert lattice hums like a hive. Mountain relays glow. Ocean buoys thrum. Old radios that should not work anymore begin to sing. The choir track rises with a drum like a slow heart. The boy with the toy plane grins and keeps the beat. In orbit, the dark smear thins like steam in wind. It splits, and the split does not close. Through the gap, stars shine sharp again. A dead probe pings home with a small, stubborn beep. Another follows. The sky remembers how to talk. The teacher's light fades. You were ready, it says. We only reminded you. The sphere dims to a soft ember. A new voice cuts in. Not the enemy, not the teacher. It is a human voice from far away, an old woman in a kitchen with a radio. I am making bread, she says. I am waiting for my granddaughter. I hear you. I keep the oven warm. Her Her words ride the net. They feel like a house light on a dark road. In thousands of rooms, shoulders drop. Hands steady. Work continues. The shadow tries one last trick. It sends a wave of pure silence. It feels like a hand over the mouth of the world. For 2 long seconds, no sound moves. Ava raises the mirror. She looks straight into the lens. The team looks into their lenses. Millions of people look into tiny cameras. For those 2 seconds, there is no music, no speech. There is only the human gaze, steady as stone. The silence cracks. Sound returns like rain. Laughter slips in first, then the drum, then the choir, then the line that started everything. You are not alone. The shadow tears and blows apart into night. The sky is not empty now. It is honest. It holds stars, and it holds room for the next song. Ava lowers the mirror. She looks at the map. The red X marks are crossed out one by one. The last mark fades on its own. The case closes with a gentle click. She turns to the team. They look different now. Not larger, just more real. We taught our future how to remember us, she says. Now we teach our present. Outside in the desert, the wind finally moves again. It carries a small sound to the horizon. A boy tapping a steady beat with 2 sticks, the same beat the world now knows by heart.